So, Coach, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports IQ. Coach, just a brief overview of your reaction of the past conference.
Um, Obviously, like just like every other team, we aim for the reach the finals and try to acquire that championship. But I felt like along the way we had our good moments as well as our bad moments in this conference. Considering it was my first conference taking over for this team, I'd have to say that I know I was not that I was surprised that we made playoffs because that was the statement and the goal our primary goal when I first took over that we would at least make playoffs this conference, even with me being, you know, newly appointed head coach, and I knew the talent that we had. The culture we kind of paved the way towards that level of success. Obviously, we have a lot of room for growth in regards to a lot of our young guys. Some of our younger guys really made strides. Santillan, Asistio, Caraco, all really made an impression on myself as well as the coaching staff, our management, as well as the rest of the league. That they're more than capable of producing at this highest level, and we've really been making sure that their learning curve begins to shorten. They'll coming into this conference. We know that they're going to play a very vital role in our success as we move forward. So we've been concentrating on that as we prepare going towards this next Governor's Cup.
Coach, you said you want your younger players to improve more this coming conference. But how different is it? Because right now we still have the pandemic. We just have two conferences, unlike before we have three. So how how difficult is it to develop younger players in a shortened season?
Extremely. The best way to really develop is through games, and we can't even have tune-up games right now, so everything's has to be highly competitive at practice. I felt like going into the first conference in the semi bubble, our veterans really got our young guys prepared. It may have taken them a few games to get their feet wet and get on stable ground. But once they got a taste of the high competition, the physicality, the pace of the game, and they kind of parang yung nawala na yung let's say their doubt in themselves of can they play at this level. They really started making strides, especially like I said, Assis still played the key roles, being a key backup at our point guard position. Santillan has basically, solidified himself as our future at the power forward position. Um, Karakut is becoming a two-way player for us. He played tough during the playoffs against Paul Lee. And we still have Frankie Johnson that we're trying to still figure out of how can we maximize his athletic ability. Um, Really, it just comes down to practice right now. Like you can't get gameplay. These guys have to really buy into how we develop. I think I've said it before, where our player development is unlike anyone else's, and we really take pride in that, especially us coaches, in seeing our guys develop and make sure that it translates to what we do. Like we don't like wasting time at practice. Everything we make these guys do is for them to grow accustomed to dealing with pressure. So everything these young guys do is pressure shooting, defensive full court pressure, just so when it comes to the game, nothing shocks them anymore.
Coach, you've
Plus, these guys
spoken.
come from, I know, they come from top programs,
Mm.
so they're used to it.
Oh yeah, Coach, you've spoken about the top programs, Karakut, Santi, Asistio. They came from La Salle and Ateneo, and your two best players right now, JV and Ray, came from San Beda and Letran. So, how important is it to have young guys, rookies coming into your team, but and then they came from these top collegiate programs?
You know, when these type of players come to us, it falls right into our identity. We're a very blue collar team. We're all about hard work, no excuses, and you know the the prestige they've come from. Like JV won like 3 or 4 championships at Beda. Ray won a championship at Letran. Our Ateneo guys, our 3 Ateneo players in Asistro, Tolentino. Oh no, 4. Yeah, 3 and 81. You know, won significantly at their respective. Andre and Santillan won at La Salle. So they carry that personality with them. You know, once you're a champion, you don't leave it behind. You remember all the little lessons that was taught to you in those years that you were playing at a high level, and it carries over. And um, I've liked what I've seen from these guys, especially, you know, like you said, our two youngest stars are Ray and JV, and right now they're paving the way for the success of our team in the future.
Coach, because you have many players who are very young. Asistio, Santi, but then you have one of the oldest guys in the league in Bo. So, what's the transition like between Bo, who's been more than a decade in the PBA, and the younger guys?
I think I addressed that in our one of our earlier practices this week where we were scrimmaging, and you know, Bo attracts a lot of attention because of what he's capable of doing. And there's not too many guys that can kind of contain him when he's really aggressive. And when he gets kind of frustrated when our young guys are not hitting their shots based off, you know, the how he gets them open in his way. And you know, and our young guys have to learn of how to play along at that higher level with our high level guys. Because Gabe, Bo, they've been in the league for over a decade. Yeah, well over a decade, and these guys expect you to play at a certain level because we're trying to achieve something we haven't. This organization, this team hasn't done since 2016, and that's win the championship. And so we're going to need these young guys to take on that pressure and kind of embrace it as we move forward.
Coach, this coming conference, you won't have another player in the leadership front in James Yap because he's seeking a government post. So, how how difficult will it be to have one less voice in the locker room?
Well, you know, the way we're set up is um, I give everybody an opportunity to be a leader. I empower everybody to have a voice. Obviously, losing a veteran voice like James will have its impact, but then it'll also uh, affect us in a way where our younger guys have to be able to have a bigger voice on the team because we just lost the James Yap who may not um, be that much of a bottom, you know, super vocal kind of leader, but he's more of a by action kind of guy with my interaction with him, which was great. And so it's an opportunity for growth for a lot of our guys coming up. And I think guys like JV Mokon, Ray have kind of realized, and I've spoken to them about um, being embodying James in how they act. It's not just about what they say to our guys; it's our body language. disposition. Can our guys look at you and trust you like the way they trusted James in big moments? So these are opportunities for those type of players to really emerge for us this coming Governors Cup.
So there, it's like they've idolized James Yap for so many years, and then being teammates with him, just James's characteristics just rub off on them.
Yeah, for sure. James is such a like you said, a high character guy, someone that uh, his actions alone and his accomplishments is something that you can really idolize from. And I've been honored for the fact that to say that I've been able to coach him for just this one conference alone, um, and I've learned so much just from his level of professionalism. Although he was coming from an injury last conference, he still came in, did his work, and that's what our young guys can kind of take away from James. That at the end of the day, you have to do your job, no matter what you do, and hopefully, these young guys learn some lesson from James of how he carried himself or how he went about his day to day and his mental approach towards games.
Coach, you finished the season, the conference 6-5, made the playoffs but lost in the first round. So, what does the team need to do to improve on to move into the higher level?
Uh, you know, um, Obviously, you have to address the biggest issue we had, which was we were dead last in points scored throughout the league. I think we wind up finishing only averaging 77 points a game. And, um, that's the number one issue that we're going into this conference where we want to play at a higher pace. We want to play at a more up tempo style and let our guys use their athleticism. We we're looking to really combine our number one defense in the league with a more let's say high octane kind of offense where our guys are just staying in attack mode. We're not looking to run too many sets this coming conference. We want to just let our guys be in creativity mode and play the way I really like the way Talking Text Coach Chot lets his guys create plays for one another, and I feel that's how basketball should be played nowadays. Less thinking, more playing.
So with that kind of play style, coach, who do you think, which players are you most looking forward to take a more proactive role in offense next conference?
Uh, our you name two of our guys already that I expect to really continue their stellar play and even improve upon it. Obviously, Ray, with the bigger contract, you gotta expect when an organization labels you as a max guy, you gotta kind of perform and rise up to that level that now you're distinguished for. JV is on his way there, but I'm not really putting too much emphasis on one or two particular individuals. I told our guys even when we started practicing that I'd rather have 10 guys average 10 points a game. Why? Because that makes us difficult to scout. You can't just stop one or two guys and say, oh, we stop Ray, we stop JV, we'll beat rain or shine. I don't want that. I want to be able to say we have 10 guys that are more than capable of scoring 10 points a game. How are you going to stop 10 guys? That's our mental approach going into this game and going into the season. And our guys are going to know, the challenge is set out there. Now it's just all about who's going to step up. I read a great quote earlier today about Bob Huggins saying he doesn't play guys that he likes. He plays guys that's going to produce. And that's always been my mentality.
Coach, I want to talk about before you got Rain or Shine, you led the Kia franchise to its first and only playoff appearance back a few years ago. So, how was it coaching those guys and having James White be just a very young player but produce in a very tough league like the PBA?
When that team was no was very um, special in my heart because for one, that was my first stint as a PBA head coach, and they made it easy for me because they bought in. When guys buy into what you're selling, it's easy, and our veterans kind of paved the way there of not letting our young guys slip by the leeway. They set the standard. I challenged guys like Marquis, Aldrich Ramos, KG Canaleta. I told them this can be your banner year. You can carry this team, and our young guys will follow you. And James White kind of was the perfect fit for us because he was trying to. It was his first professional experience, and there was times where he had deer in the headlights, but we just kind of had to breed his confidence little by little in practice. Having Coach Joe Lipa helped a lot also because Coach Joe was on James White hard, like like Greg Popovich hard every day, and it made my life a lot easier having Coach Joe there. So and having a guy like Coach Joe mentor me also in helping me kind of cerebrally in thinking the game and kind of trying to outthink certain aspects of how these amazing coaches are in the PBA, and um, it helped me in my development. I can't say that my first year I was going to outthink Tim Cone, Jonger Chico. Like you need help along that along that path to overcome that level of coaching.
All right, coach. Just final question. What's the team's goal right now for the Governors Cup?
High. We have high expectations. I put a picture. I actually made a banner of our last championship trophy, and I put it at the door of Reyes Gym where we practice. That's the first thing our players see every morning. So they tap that. That's the first. That's our tradition now. You tap that championship trophy because once you get on the court, ooh, all I'm expecting you to do is practice and act like a champion. And you don't become a champion unless you practice like one and then you start acting like one. And with Henry Walker coming in as our import, he's highly motivated. I've spoken to him several times already about we have one purpose coming into this conference. That's to win it all. And he knows I told him that we had the number one defense last conference, and he can definitely add 25, 30 points to our total, and that'll put us over the top, I feel. And if we can combine what he's able to do and what our guys are capable of doing on the defensive end, I think we have high hopes going into this conference.
All right, coach. Thank you very much, coach. Thank you for taking the
All right.
time and good luck in the Governors
Thank
Cup.
you.